Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa and let's talk about Eichenwalde, the new map. I want your guys' thoughts on this map. But before we get into this, let's just sit back and bask in the glory of this amazing Reinhardt play of the game. My god. Reinhardt, you have our attention. That was beautiful. Alright, so what I'm going to do in this video is talk about the map. We're going to look at different gameplay clips that I'm going to mash together, and so we can look at different areas of the map and sort of how they play. So this is the very start of the map. This is the only part of the map I've really got an issue with. Now, having been playing on the PTR for quite a while, I think I've played some 30-40 games on the PTR. The caliber of players, it's much higher than it was at Gamescom, because I played loads and loads of games, like, I don't even know, like 25, 26, 27 hours of the map at Gamescom, and you know, players were terrible, players were maybe they'd not played the game before, so it was kind of hard to gauge how the map sort of progressed. However, what I did think would happen is this would be a very easy choke to defend, and it has proven to be the case. You stand here as Reinhardt, you can pretty much just block the choke, and what can the enemy team do about this? Okay, if they work down your barrier, then yeah, they can get through. If they do a fast push, maybe they can get through. But this is very heavily in the favour of the defenders, because there isn't really any flank available for this, which is the weird thing. Now, the music shot, which you can sort of see to my left, it's kind of behind me now. It almost feels like there should be a door there, or some sort of way to flank through into that area. And it feels like maybe there was, but then they sort of blocked it up, because as of right now, you can only go through the bridge. Over the bridge, you can maybe jump over the houses if you're like D.Va or Pharah. I think possibly Genji could do it as well. Or you could go all the way around the outside of the map as Lucio, Pharah or D.Va and come sort of behind this point. But it's such a long flank, it's not really usable. So yeah, I got an issue with the start of the map. It seems to be quite easily defendable if you just sort of stand in the choke. Now, I'm not saying that's the best thing to do, because teams will probably not stand in the choke and defend it, but it's a very nice kill zone. If you're playing Junkrat, if you're playing Mei, you can sort of spam in that area, Mei can block at the wall, Reinhardt can block the whole thing with his barrier. It's kind of easily defendable. This area of the map, though, which is the next control point, is absolutely brilliant. This is, in my opinion, the best area of any map currently in the game. This is phenomenal. There are so many different flank routes. There are so many different things you can do at this section of the map. It is just ridiculous. The developers often go on about the verticality of maps. Now, in case you guys don't understand what that means, it kind of means what it says, right? Verticality, the vertical nature of the maps. If you think of Hollywood is a very vertical map. Gibraltar is a very vertical map. This takes it to a completely other level, especially in this area. You can get up, like above me there, behind me, all over the place. There's loads of places where you can get high and take advantage of that high ground. Now, what that means is, for the defenders, again, you are in a very strong position. But also the attackers are in a strong position at this point as well, because there are like 3-4 different routes you can take. You can follow the payload, you can flank round to the right and grab the high ground, you can flank round to the left and grab high ground, you can flank round to the right and grab the low ground, you can flank underneath. There's just so many different options. It is a fantastically designed area, and not to mention the whole map just looks visually awesome. It is totally ridiculous. So yeah, what I really like with this map is when you get to this portion, this section of the map, it's really enjoyable, because you kind of don't know what's going to happen. Whereas at the start of the map, you know you're probably going to try and hold that choke. And when we get onto the later portion of the map, you know kind of where you're going to hold again. Although in the castle, it's kind of a lesser version of the initial choke. At least I feel that way. It's still a very defense kind of biased setup, but we will talk about that when we get to that point, because there are issues with respawns and stuff. But yeah, this area of the map, you can see how, like, we're being very aggressive here. We're going forward. We see an opportunity. We're rushing forward. We're trying to push them back. We are holding the payload. Really, you're probably going to be wanting to hold the high ground, not stand down by the payload, where I've been operating throughout this. Again, this is PTR, so calibers of players are going to be different. It's not like playing on live. You're not going to be playing with people in your skill bracket. And obviously, we're not playing in a full team. It is just a pickle group. But it does still serve a purpose to show you how sort of, I guess, well, eclectic's not, well, maybe eclectic does work as a sort of descriptive word for this area. There's so many different options, so many different ways of doing it. It is not just run up the middle of the path and stay by the payload, or everybody always attacks on the right. You know, you look at other maps like, I don't know, Hanamura, right? You break through Hanamura, you're probably going to go to the left or you're going to go straight onto the point. Sometimes you might go to the right, but there's not that much of a choice. And it's kind of obvious what the teams are going to do. Whereas on this map, on the previous point, apologies there, I'm choking to death. On the previous point, though, it feels like there are a ton of different options. So now we're on attack, and we are moving round to the final point. And spoiler alert, we will not win this map. We will lose because we cannot break this corner. This is a highly, I mean highly, defensible corner. You can, like, they've got a Junkrat, they've got a Farah. I died to the Mercy right here, but yeah, admittedly, I was kind of low. I should have fire striked it, probably would have killed it, but whatever. Yeah, you come around this corner, and it is a ridiculous kill zone. If you've watched the video I put out on May recently, I spoke about this area where it's extremely powerful for May because May can dominate. She can throw her ulti in on both attack and defense and just shut down an attack and shut down a defense. It is ridiculous. But I did speak earlier about the spawn distances. Look at this. I just died and I have to run all the way back. I'm Reinhardt, so I can charge back and get back quicker. But it's a very long distance. The defenders, when they die, they're basically right on top of the spawn. And they can spawn and come back. So they have a major advantage. I feel like what's going to happen with this map is we're going to be looking at a case of most sort of attacks are going to be stopped here. If they're not stopped at the first choke, you're probably going to give up the next phase, which is a shame because I really like that area. I mean, you will obviously still try and defend that, but there's so many different things you can do there. I kind of think the attackers should probably be able to break that. But when you get into this point, it's all about this corner. And this is where you've got your best chance as the defenders to really hold this. Also, this is pretty funny because I'm like, oh yeah, he sent his rip tire off. Eh? I'm like, I've died? Well, he brought the rip tire straight back. Watch this. Like, what the hell, Junkrat? Watch. He's like, oh, health pack room. Oh, that's why. Because he was like, oh, yeah, and then realised it's just a large health pack room. Oh, dear. That was kind of unlucky. Yeah, so this spawn distance is a little bit of an issue. I think what we're going to see is attackers will get held at the first choke. If they don't, and you break through that choke, the next phase, after you've activated the payload and you move through that section, is going to be kind of 50-50, right? That's a brilliantly designed area. That is an area where attackers and defenders don't really have a major advantage. Sure, defenders can grab the high ground and get ready for the attackers to come through and maybe repel the first attack. But after that, you do have quite a few options to get into that area, which is awesome. Then we get into the castle, and this little choke around the final corner, this like L bend, is absolutely one hell of a kill zone. And I mean, you could just wipe out the enemy team who are defending on this point really quick and take it, or they're probably going to take you out. They do have the major advantage here, and it's going to take some pretty good team-orientated tactics to break through that point, considering where people can set up on the high ground. Like, you can have Junkrat in a position, you can have Hanzo in a position, Farah in a position. There's a load of different places. Like, directly in front of me there, you can see somebody's up there. I think Farah's up there. That's a nice position. But also, opposite Farah's position, you guys kind of can't quite see it. Word style, get them out of your mouth. Round the corner at the moment to the right. There's high ground there, so they can sit there as you come through. Often when I play Junkrat on this map, because I think he's super effective, especially on this point, I like to sit up there and just spam the bombs down, and you can just decimate attacks. It is ludicrously powerful. So what I want to know, guys, is what you think about Eichenwalde. If you haven't played Eichenwalde, you can play it right now if you have the PC version of Overwatch, because all you need to do is go to the Overwatch tab on Battle.net, and where you can select your region. For me, I'm obviously set to Europe. If you're NA, it'll be set to NA, Asia, regions, and whatever, you'll be set to whatever. But if you click on that little button, drop-down menu will pop up, and you should be able to select PTR, and then it will download the PTR, and then you can play on this map, which is a special brawl mode. So I think it's called Storm the Castle. It's just so you can basically play the map and test it, instead of sitting in quick play or trying to play competitive and hoping you get the map. So that's a good way of testing it. I highly recommend you do test it, because I want to see what you guys think about this. I've got a shitload of experience on the map now, but it's not actual real experience, because while I spoke about the initial choke probably being a bit hard to break, in my mind I can just see a team rapidly pushing through that. Lucio speed boost, you just go straight through, straight in, take a right, take a left, and then you're into the point. Whereas like with pickup groups, it's a little bit more, the choke is kind of blocked. And you can kind of apply the same to this final point, where if you do a proper coordinated attack with correct ultimate use, you know, you get a good Graviton Surge off, you get a good Deadeye off, anything like that, a good Earth Shatter, and you shut that team down, then you could potentially take it. I mean, if you look at this section here, like, we almost took that there. It wasn't like we lost, and Junkrat See, he was in a very nice position there. Again, abusing the high ground. Looking, he can just start spamming bombs, and it's going to be difficult for us. So, yeah, it's still early days for the map, but I still think this is probably the best map in the game, especially this area of the map, which I'm charging through now. It blows my mind that. It's so well designed, and I just hope that we see more of this in the future. All right, guys, let me know. I don't know what this play of the game is. I get play the game quite a lot with Reinhardt, because... Oh, I just run through and smash them all in. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful play of the game. I think I get Tracer, yeah. I didn't even know Tracer was there, and I just sort of smashed it. I think I knocked Zarya off the edge. Yeah, or Zarya just jumped off the edge. I think I knocked her off the edge. Anyway, guys, you can follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming. Do let me know in the comments below what you think about this map. I will be reading the comments. I love reading the comments in our videos. And yeah, I'll catch you next time, guys. Toodaloo.